Thank you, Tom, and thank you to our dancers. You are all welcome today on this our country, the land of the Miriuwung people. You will be traditionally welcome in, or you already did, and again, I'd like to formally welcome you again as the traditional owner. Naturally, we start by acknowledging all of our mob, families, those who are here now, past us and left us, and acknowledge all the friendships, foes, or whatever, how you want to see it. I welcome our distinguished guest of honour, WA State Treasurer and Minister for Indigenous Affairs and Lands, the Honourable Ben White. I also welcome all the other distinguished guests and our local people here in Kununurra and beyond. I would also like to make mention to the Shire President, Wyndham East Kimberley Council, David Menzel, and his fellow councillors, and other local leaders of our town community, in particular those from our committee who run the Kununurra Visitor Centre and have a responsibility for the Argyle Homestead Museum. Most especially, we welcome the members of the Gajerrong family who are with us here today. They have come from far and wide. You are all most welcome. And we acknowledge the elders, those present and those past, in particular, Dame Miriuwung. Excuse me, I'm having a dancing ceremony here.
You want me to hold your microphone?
If you can, thank
Yeah.
you. And their sister Elizabeth Gajerrong and their brother Reggie Gajerrong, all of whom are held in high regard. The Miriuwung families and the Gajerrong families have a special relationship, something that stands out as quite unique across Australia. We, the Miriuwung people, are the original peoples of this land. We have links and stories and history all the way back into the Dreamtime. Whitefellow scientists have so far provided archaeological evidence that we have been here for at least 40,000 years, but they are still counting. With links like ours, you will understand our strong emotional attachment to our lands. We know the songs of this land, we know the stories, we know the dances. We know the language of this land, and we know the local names of all of our birds, plants, trees and the animals. In this area, we are here today. There are important song cycles and dances that tell the dreaming of the grasshopper dreaming, which you know as Mount Misery, the hill. We call it bilbidging, grasshopper dreaming. Above us at night, we have the stars with their own songs that connect our dream time. People with the night lives, including the famous songs about the Seven Sisters. These are just some. We have many and many more. Although, got a confession, we don't have a Miriuwung word, nor a song, nor a corroboree for the cane toad. In very recent times, the Miriuwung people gave our evidence to federal court that established at law our native title rights to these lands. Our elders shared our stories with the judge, even giving evidence from a boat floating out on Lake Argyle. As my mother spoke to the court about the landscape, and she's here with me today, Myrtle Ward. And the landscape below the water, and trace the river system of the Ord and the Ben River and the Negri, and the little creeks that used to flow in from the hills on either side, all now drowned. What was not lost with the damming of the Ord was our native title. Our cultural authority, our role and our responsibility as the first people of this country. This is a responsibility that we carry through from ancient times all the way into the present and into the future. We, the Miriuwung people, know that our people, to have a secure future, we have to build onto our traditional native title rights, a commercial and economic base. We are more than ready for utilising our land holdings in ways that look after the country and simultaneously create jobs, training and job opportunities, especially for our young people. A lot of our focus as the prescribed body corp, with the support of the MG Aboriginal Corporation team, is to develop agricultural and pastoral operations that will do just that. And we are particularly pleased today to have our friend, the Minister for Lands, who together with his colleague, the Minister for Regional Development, Alana McTennan, has taken great efforts to secure these opportunities. We sincerely thank him for that and for his support and his friendship. It was back in September of 1882, nearly 137 years ago, that the first of the Gajerrong stumbled into our lands. As you all know, the first lot came by boat into Cambridge Gulf. They nearly got lost on their way in from Wyndham. They first went up the wrong river. When they realised that they were lost, they called that river the Gajerrong River. And then they scrambled over the ranges, chased out by the country of the Balangara mob, until they got to what they called the Bow River, and from there found their way to the Ord. They pegged our country and then went down to Perth and secured their claims for their partial leases over our lands. Before returning to the east, they collected their mob of cattle from there and then tracked back overland, this time to set up camp here in 1885. If you say all that in quickly, you can make it all sound easy. Skillfully, no doubt, apprehensively, our Miriuwung people soon found ways to largely coexist with the Gajerrong family, who soon spread out across the country. These stories that link us are told and retold by the Miriuwung people, and some of these same stories have been written up by the late Dame Miriuwung, the mum of Johnny Miller, and Johnny is here with us today, I think.
Just here.
Johnny?
Great to see you, Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny. And illustrated by her sister Elizabeth, Perpetua's mother.
Perpetua is somewhere behind
Perpetua's here somewhere? There's Perpetua. Amongst these illustrated books is one that is of great interest to me, and it's called All About, subtitled The Story of Black Community on Argyle Station, Kimberley. It was first published in 1935, just about 50 years ago, after the Gajerrongs had first settled here. This book, through the eyes of the Gajerrongs, records stories about our families, our peoples, including stories about the sketches of my great-grandmother, Nabara, and of her son, little Jimmy, which was my grandfather, Jim Ward. We know from what our old people told us and from what Mary and others have written that the relationship was not idyllic, it was complex. But all of us can cope with a bit of complexity. We don't need to hide the fact that the relationship between the Gajerrongs and the Miriuwung had both its good sides and its serious bad sides. Remarkably, the relationship has continued all the way through to the present. We at MG are proud to have members of the extended Gajerrong family working for us now. We've had Brad Gajerrong, who's here again somewhere in the crowd. Brad?
Over there.
Good on you, Brad. Who has worked with us to build up the MG Building Company. We recently have welcomed the arrival of Mary Gajerrong. Mary is here somewhere again in the crowd.
Don't know where Mary is.
Good on you, Mary. Came all the way from Darwin to then now come live here, work with us here in Kununurra. And we have Will Gajerrong working with the Kimberley Land Council. And of course, the famous and the great man himself, Mr. Tom Stevens. No clap for you. And as long work, as you know, when he started off with my family and with the people that has, in the Kimberleys. I won't say any more, but I do want to add just a little more for you, somewhere there in the line here. But he's also served with us as the director with MG Corp. We know that over the years, our family members have enjoyed many of our connections with the Gajerrongs, with visits to Gajerrong's homes in Perth, and visits from Gajerrong's to various hospital beds, including where my uncle was there in the rehab centre after his car accident, Mr. Ben Ward, who I have him over there, my uncle. There might be an Aboriginal mob like ours elsewhere in Australia who have managed to maintain unbroken good connection with the white family who first settled on their land. But I have never heard of another with a relationship like ours. So I am going to claim this as unique until someone proves otherwise. With our shared history, which is a short history by Miriuwung standards but long by standards of non-Australians, non-Aboriginal Australia, it is only right and fit and proper that I welcome the Gajerrongs back here today on behalf of my old people, so not me, I wasn't here at the time, in the reconstructed Homestead which we're here now. While you are here, you will naturally think of your family and the trials and tribulations and the successes that you have experienced and the benefits that you have gained from your family connection with our land. You will, I hope, also think about our Miriuwung families who are still on country, enjoying what we have, at the same time still working towards making our lives, all of our lives, a better one. We know from history that success comes from working positively together. For that to happen, it has to be based on mutual respect, on a reconciliation based on a genuine understanding of each other's story, as well as an appreciation of our shared history. Today we celebrate the 40th anniversary of the reconstruction of this old Gajerrong homestead. We are also celebrating the presence of a unique updated Gajerrong family tree that documents, as best as it can, some of the many links that this family has. We are very happy to see acknowledged in this family tree the Skeen family, who are amongst us here today as well.
Ribner and
Ribner and James. And I think
Lillian's over there. Lillian's here.
So again, I acknowledge the Skeen family as special visitors today, and I congratulate Perpetua Gajerrong and all the others who have worked on this project and who are today here to share with us what work reveals. Thank you.